welcome back again to Life Matters with your host Langwan Leslie. If you followed us to this part 2, that means this subject matter is really getting hooked up to this channel, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so. Leave us your comment, let us know where you are on your own journey. I don't know who you are, what you practice or whatever. Just share, just share. We want to hear on Life Matters. We want to hear about your story. We want to hear what you struggle with. We want to hear the things you've learned over the years. And it's building a community, it's building each other. We two hands are better than one, two heads are better than one. So guys, make sure to watch the previous video, because I actually had to do some disclaimers in the first video, saying I'm not here to pinpoint to a particular denomination and say this is a bad denomination. I'm not here to do that, or say this is a good denomination. I am not here to talk about denomination. The main reason why I'm here is because I don't want to talk about denomination. I didn't like being in that position where it was like all about denomination and not my relationship with Christ, if that is well understood. So if you are in a place where you're struggling, you feel like, oh, this is something that I've struggled with, you are not alone. I have struggled in that position, and I'm so happy that I've gotten to you experience both and just make a choice. When you experience two things and then you make a choice at the end of the day, that choice is permanent, which is why I always tell people it's not like you don't have to force people when it comes to giving a deeper or getting to a deeper relationship with Christ. You don't need to force people, because they will just get into their lives and get to a place where they will not have any choice, and not everybody is going to give their life to Christ. I don't know. I feel like that is the essence. That is something God wants. But at the end of the day, I don't know. He has the final authority. So guys, that is not my main focus. My main focus today now is going to be sharing with you guys the reasons why I actually left the church. The main reasons. There are a lot of reasons, but just the main reasons why I left the church. The first reason why I left the church was because I discovered that I was deceiving myself. I was wasting my time. I was marking time. I was living a double standard life, guys, because I was in the church and I would do all these activities, but it was just to please humans. It was just to make people think good about me and be like, wow, look at that girl, look at how she's dancing, look at how she's committed to the things of the church, So it was just being in that place where I felt like, in my heart of heart, I was missing out on something. I wasn't what I practiced. I wasn't like, other than being in those activities, I didn't have anything to show for when it comes to church. If you ask me on Sundays what I studied in church, I will not tell you, And also, I felt like another way I was deceiving myself was at some point that I was able to pass confession, and go and like just stare the head of the church or whoever was sitting and listening to my confession, how I do this thing that is not good. I follow the crowd. And I just go and say these things for formality. But yet, if I say my confession on a Saturday, on Sunday, I go to church, wow. And then on Monday, I start living the same life. The same things I went and confessed on Saturday are the same thing I start living. And just knowing that I could sin and do all the things I could do and go and pass my confession on Saturday gave me that leeway to just be lukewarm. Like just lukewarm. And I felt at some point I asked myself, what is the benefit of me passing confession and going back and living the same life? Who am I deceiving? Am I not deceiving myself? It's like I always tell people, I say, when you look at the 10 commandments, guys, whatever God says do not do in the 10 commandments, the effect of doing is first on you before any other person. So I told myself, whatever I'm doing and telling a lie to these people that I'm confessing and still going back and living the same lifestyle, the effect of it is going to be on me. It's going to be felt by me, not them, because I'm deceiving myself now and not them. So I got to a place where I'm like, no, this has to stop. And I felt like for me to stop was for me to take away that umbrella that I had, that church, that thing that was blinding my eye, that church, and get into a deeper relationship with Christ. Get to know why I'm first of all in church. What is the importance of the church? What is the essence for gathering together? And if the essence of gathering together as a community of like church, as a church community, was to worship Christ, then what did I asked myself, what do I know about Christ? You know, how close am I to Christ? So another reason why I decided to leave the church was the fact that I also felt like the church was deceiving me. So I was deceiving myself and the church was deceiving me, because the church got to, you know, sometimes if people come to you and tell you this is how I live, you see every sign on them that they are not living what they are not living the thing they are telling you. Whatever confession, it just became like a formality to me. Passing confession was a formality. Reciting everything that I was reciting in church was a formality. If you ask me back to explain, if you ask me if there was any deep meaning in whatever I recited on Sundays, what I was the 10 Commandments, what I was whatever, if you ask me any details, I didn't know. So I felt like the church was deceiving me in that light, because I didn't get to know any details. I didn't get to know the actual importance of what I was studying or whatever I was learning in church, you know. So I decided, that is one of the reasons why I decided to get to a place where I knew God on a personal level. I wanted to know God on a personal level. I craved for God. The reason why I decided to leave the church was the fact that I had a lot of questions on my mind that I didn't have answers to. You know, one of the questions I had was always like, just knowing that I grew up in so much poverty and so much hardship, you know, and yet I didn't even know how to pray by myself. Yes, we went to church, we prayed, we did all these things, but I didn't know how to pray. I had this question of like, how am I supposed to pray? Who is God? Like, what is the difference? Like, why am I in church, and why is it that I still have these questions? Why is it that I'm still going through so much like hardship, confusion? Why is my family still in so much disorder even though I'm in church, you know? So all these questions were the things that passed through my mind, and I told myself, you know what, I need to get deeper. I need to live from just going to church and become a Christian and become and get a relationship, a personal relationship with Christ. And I knew in my mind that whenever I decide to like go deep with God, then I study, then I'll be able to determine exactly what church community is going to grow with me in that life, or what church community is going to be the best that I could be in, that will be able to like walk with me and learn and help me grow, you know, in my new faith. The reason why I decided to join the church was because I had a very, very raw testimony. So my brother Desiree was the first person to like get to this place of surrendering or just getting deeper in his faith or leaving the church, you know, like I say in that code. And he found Christ, you know, he got deeper in his relationship with Christ, and he fasted for the family. He prayed, and his prayer was always that one day our own eyes will be open and we'll get to a place where we want to get personal relationship with Christ. So on this day, I had a situation where I was so sick, and my brother prayed for me, and I got instant deliverance. I mean, sick, like I had a terrible attack during the day at about midday. Somebody slapped me. I don't know who did, but nobody was around. But I just became like, my eyes were dark. I couldn't see, and I passed out. And at some point in the evening, my ex-husband called, and my brother prayed for me, and I got instant healing. I mean, my legs were already paralyzed. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. But instantly, I mean, like, he prayed for like 3 minutes, and in 5 minutes, I was completely healed. I got up by myself, walked to the bathroom, and came back. And since from them, he did not even just pray me out of the situation. There were other complications that I had as far as my health was concerned that got instantly healed at that time. And this is the same brother that we had persecuted. Like, there were days that he came home and asked for food, we didn't give him because we thought that he was trying to, like, you know, cause confusion or whatever by going deeper in his faith in Christ. So my brother prayed for me, and I got instant healing. And from that day, I started thinking twice. I'm like, why is it different? Why is his own prayer different? What makes the difference between him and myself? There is something. I just kept telling myself, there is obviously something he knows that I do not know. There's always obviously a favor that he has over me when it comes to things of God. And so that just gave me a turnaround, and I just started thinking. Last straw that brought me out of church and gave me that opening of getting closer to Christ, getting a relationship with Christ, craving for a relationship with Christ, was when I got separated from my ex-husband in 2013. Sorry, guys. So before 2013, I've been going to church all my life. I've been in church, but I lived in an abusive relationship. I suffered from somebody who was also in church with me. We go to church on Sunday. He was almost going to be a reverend father, and we'll go to church on Sunday and we'll do all these things for God, but yet we come back and we fight. It's just the opposite, things that you will never even fathom that a Christian should do was the kind of life that we lived, And so I told myself, when I left him, I'm like, no, this is the end. I lost everything. So I feel like one of the reasons why I quickly forgive my ex-husband, or try to forgive and forget what happened, is because that was the thing that led me to Christ. If there's anything that led you to Christ, it's important. You don't even need to blame that thing. No matter how bad the thing was before you, even if you cut by your leg and decided, and from there you came to Christ, that one is not, it's a big blessing. You look at it and it's not even pain anymore. Not to say that I don't have days where I look back and feel like I wasted my years and all of that with him, but just looking and saying that if I didn't go through the trials and tribulations that I went through growing up and just being married to him, I wouldn't have taken that step. If I was living a joyful life, a fulfilled life, a life where I had everything at my beck and call, a peaceful marriage and everything, I feel like I wouldn't have taken that step of faith to become a child of God. And so I'm so grateful to God that happened. So guys, those are the main reasons why I decided to leave the church. If you've understood, good and fine. If you've not, if there are any questions surrounding what I've just explained, please let us know in the comments section. And guys, like I said before, share with us how you became, like you decided to go deeper in your faith. Let us know. Any questions on this subject matter, let us know so that we can deliberate on it. If you think there's controversy, let us know. And guys, this video is getting longer than I anticipated. I love you guys so much. See you in our next video. Bye for now.